She seems like a smart lady. Ooh, is this a bar? I said we'd meet our first cast-off at a bar. Bar? Bar? Cast-off? Hello? Cast-off? Cast-off? He doesn't look very cast-off-y to me. Sylph? This pretty young woman stands unnaturally still. Suddenly, her large glassy eyes spring to life with a rattle and quickly lock with yours, before just as quickly snapping away. Her skin, as fair as porcelain, is cracked beneath several layers of dirt and faded makeup, and on the side of her neck you see what appears to be a small tattoo of vertical lines with glyphs etched at the bottom. For a moment, familiarity overwhelms you, disappearing as a minute shudder runs down her arms. Her gaze snaps back to your face, but not to your eyes. She's staring at your tattoo. Jerkily, her hand rises to touch her own. Ha! I fucking knew it! I fucking knew it! I fucking called this, was it episode 1 or 2? We're gonna meet our first cast-off in the bar. I really hope this is actually a cast-off now. Well, Matt, I am called Sylph. You note the slight pause before she pronounces her name. Her voice has a purring quality, under which you can hear the spinning of countless gears. She coughs, just once, and a small greenish cloud emerges from between her lips. How did you come by that mark? It's her! Or is... I'm a cast-off of the Changing God. Let's try to remember her tattoo first. You hear an echo of yourself and see in front of you a strange old man, gnarled by time and rabid with expectation. On his neck, weathered and sagging, you see the same series of vertical lines etched into the skin. A faded map to a time or a place that no longer exists. An inadmissible period of time has elapsed without an answer. Conclusion. I will rephrase the question, she says as the memory fades. How did you come by those marks under your skin? The usual way. There are many ways that may be usual. Her throat works for a few moments before she opens her mouth, exhaling a wisp of greenish gas. The purpose is to be enigmatic. Understood. She regards you, head tilting to the side with a series of small ratcheting noises. You have the absurd impression the motion is meant to be flirtatious. I hope you will answer another question for me. I have a riddle that it may please you to answer, she says, brushing her hair coquettishly back from her bare shoulders. It is very old. She pauses a moment, then recites from memory. What comes in with breath and out with the word, transmutes upon death but can't be conferred? What comes in with breath and out with the word, transmutes upon death but can't be conferred. The word sounds vaguely familiar, resonating in your mind even after she stops speaking. Scan thoughts. Old. Ha! It's what you've done for centuries. You told me. What? Old ha, it's what you've done for centuries. You told me. I don't understand what that means. What comes in with the breath and out with the word, transmutes upon death but can't be conferred. No. Consciousness? No. Love? In with breath and out with a word. In with breath. In with breath. In with breath. Transmutes upon death. I mean, the only thing I can think of is life, but I'm going to try to remember. The words sound familiar, but something about them is subtly wrong. Just when you think you've grasped the difference, it slips from your mind, and you're left with only Sylph's expectant gaze. Nothing? Oh, I gotta go with life. Can't be conferred. God damn it. Consciousness is there any way this is consciousness? In with breath, and out with the word. It has nothing to do with consciousness. Fuck, fine, we'll go to life. An adequate answer, she says, but incorrect. She raises one hand to form a curious sign with her fingers. When she goes to release it, however, her index finger stays frozen in place, and it takes her some moments to disengage it. I have one last question to ask of you. You may not have an answer. She looks beyond you, remaining still for some moments while the gears inside her stomach clatter and whir. Then she meets your gaze again and asks her questions. What would you do if you met someone who succeeded at your life's work before you, and they refused to share their method? I would find my own method. That would doubtless be difficult. The darkness behind her eyes whirls with glints of metal as her pupils dilate fully. They snap back to normal, and she bows slightly. I wish you luck in your endeavor. I have no more questions for you. That's actually a true answer. That's exact. I would find my own method. You know, that's part of the fun of. I don't have life work, by the way. If I did, though, like, you can't just abandon it. And I find the road to get there is usually better than once you've got there. I say that haven't accomplished much in my life, but it seems that way anyways. Try to remember where you've seen the sylph before. Examine her more closely to determine her origin. Let's try to remember. Ooh, I'm not going to try very hard. I don't think this is that important. I don't want to use up too much of this. Sure, she's old, but she can still work. Still got that machine intelligence of hers running along nicely, unlike some others, he says. If you're lonely, she'll keep you company. If you're not, she'll keep quiet. Won't you? He turns his piercing gaze on Sylph, who nods. Tell you what, I'll make you a deal, the man says, leaning forward conspiratorially. I got a Mel model out back who's a bit more banged up. I'll do you both for, say, 1,000 shins, he winks at you. A lady's got to have her options, I understand. Surely I do. Leans back, pleased with himself, as the memory starts to fade. So do we have a deal? The memory fades. Who are you? I am Sylph, she states simply, inclining her head towards you with an audible click. I am at your service. Who are you again? Who are you again? Who are you again? Why are we not getting any other options? I want to talk to her more. What the fuck? Damn it. I don't know if she's actually a cast-off now. We will never know if my bragging was... Is this a way? What is this going to? To Cliff's Edge. Ooh, we don't want to go there yet. That was the bad place, right? Tarmac? Sup? This man's brow is creased with worry. He avoids your gaze, his eyes fixed on a point to your left and far away. His trembling, battered fingers pluck at the air. He stares through the chattering customers, the bar, as though he is utterly alone. Stepping closer, you see a thick blue crease running down his throat into the depths of his heavy robes. An orderly rows of azure holes pierce his bony arms from elbow to wrist. Discord, he says as you approach. Scarred melody. Too many voices. Hurts. His words stream out one by one in a subdued and continuous monotone. Oh, damn. Tumbling over each other as if in a blind rush to escape. He does not meet your eyes as you step closer to examine him. Instead, he winces, as though your presence is somehow painful to him. You watch him move and track the twitching of his fingertips. You hear a low, vibrating whistle, though it is not coming from his mouth. What you doing here, booby? Wayfarers, bring me broken Numenera. I repair them for pay. I need to eat, he cries. I thought his voice was monotone. Fuck. And you don't think you're the target of his anger. The Wayfarers thank me, he says, swallowing. They do not know how I remade their Numenera. They do not know they will also be remade. Scan thoughts. All will be remade when the choir awakens. Can you remake any of my Numenera? Instead of asking to see your belongings, he looks at you for the first time. His pupils are as dark as the space between the stars. No, he says after a long moment. His eyes flick back to whatever distant, terrible place has so captured his attention. You're wounded! A broken instrument! He has no use for you! You didn't even look at my belongings. Do I have anything you can remake? No, you are worthy, but broken. This time he doesn't look at you. What are you staring at? This guy's getting on my nerves. The Grand Hall. The spiral pinned by broken columns. The invisible roof. He stops with a gasp, and a tear rolls down his dirty cheek. He tells me not to share our secrets with you. You're not at the choir. You are Discord. A cold wind coils down from the rooftop, flicking at his tattered robes. Scan thoughts. Must not speak of a car. Tell me what you're doing here again. A car, what's that mean? You may as well have slapped the man. White with shock, he doubles over, clutching at his chest. Beneath the man's agony, you sense otherworldly indignation and ageless despair, deep as oceans. Great Akar was once the mightiest of cities, and it will rise once more when the choir awakens. His gaze meets yours. The conductor will reward your curiosity and allow me to tell you what I have seen. You need only ask. I wish to know what you have seen. Before my becoming, I found a pit ringed by stone, deep in the Arvern wood. Broken pillars at the edges. I stepped inside, breathed the dusty air. He pauses, passing a shaking hand over his mouth. I was lost in the Grand Hall for days, decades. Pillars twisting like hallways, spiraling, the ringing of bells, whirling chandeliers, listening to the song of the lost choir. I was an audience becoming an instrument. Finally I slept and woke up here, upon the heights. He took my voice, the man says, his eyes dull in distance. But my blood sings, I am becoming, I dream. And I remake Numenera for wayfarers so they will become and dream as well. And together we will go into the forest, to the ring where the Grand Hall once stood and rebuild. What do you think you're becoming, buddy? An instrument, he says, swaying. A doorway. Before, I remade Numenera. Now, I wake and find devices the conductor has made for me. He is generous. Look, he says, smiling, and pulling aside his robes to bare his bony chest. Countless devices are embedded in his flesh, looping bloodlessly in and out of his ribs, linked by tubes or wired to an opalescent sphere at the base of his throat. Wow. Time to walk away, I think. Alright. Last up, Mr. Barkeep. What you got for me, brother? Nothing. God, I want to level up. We're not getting much XP here, are we? Okay. What else do we have here? We have this area. Alright, let's just uncover the rest of this map, and I think that'll do it for this area. There's the cultists. Oh yeah, we already looked over these jerks. Let's head up here. Gibber merchants. Gibber merchants. Airship. 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 No airship. Airship. Okay, doesn't look like I can get over to them. Maybe over here. Other airship. No. Driftwood, held aloft by suspension platforms, provided a useful, somewhat perilous bridge between the dock and the ships moored in the area. Okay. Maybe this airship? Master. Yeah, there's a captain. You know a captain when you see one, don't you? Should I talk to him? Let me check the time here. Alright, yeah. I'll talk to him. This is going to be 2 episodes. The airship master is keeping a nervous eye on his vessel. He is a short and wiry man, dressed in travel-stained but well-kept clothing. He is chewing on his impeccably groomed mustache in frustration. As you approach, he turns away from his vessel. Welcome to Master Radio's Aerophile Adventures. I am afraid that I will not be departing anytime soon. Not since the theft. He says the word carefully as if holding it at bay. I've always taken pains to see the best in people, he confides, swallowing hard. But that was before that runty, glowing, straw-haired idiot stole the coronet. My prized airship! He shakes his head, genuinely distraught. Until that thief is caught, my ship remains in dock, safely shuttered and chained. Can you tell me how your ship was stolen? Of course, he says, looking grateful that you've taken an interest in his plight. The vagrant asked to borrow my airship first, if you can believe that. I refused, of course, and as politely as possible. Well, he didn't finish. Why did, wait. He didn't finish telling me how he stole it. That would be a great relief, he says, sighing. If you do stumble over him, bring him to me. I want to look the thief in the eyes and ask him why he did this to me. In the meantime, what can Master Radio's Aerophile Adventures do for you? Have you seen a woman with purple hair? Nope, of course you didn't. What's the thief look like? He was a shorter fellow with blonde hair and a thin build. He was also glowing. Master Renio scowls. I should have known what he was planning. Oh, I've seen his type before. Reckless, Thrill seekers! I've never understood them. He nibbles at his thinning mustache. Where do you travel?
Once I flew as far as the Augur call us, soaring above Arvrin Wood and the unmeasured depths of Ordu Lake. Above the lava fields of Asafagagan and the plains beyond, I flew south over the ruins of the Daba homelands and east to the oasis of Miragulolius. He gestures at his single vessel. Now I fly slowly to the Valley of Dead Heroes, conveying mourners and memorialists to the unchanging tomes. Scan thoughts. Things will turn around one day, I'm sure. In the meantime, we have honest work and food to eat. You're going to eat that work? Is that what you're planning? Of course I'm not flying anywhere at the moment, not while the thief who stole my other airship walks free.
What's up in the Kavamasi?
Steeped in history, my friend, and you've come to the right man to ask it about. Ahem.
He adjusts his clothes and stands taller.
There was once a staging ground against our foes, the Tabatabrabras. Our ancestors could absorb the approaching enemy from here and direct their forces to meet them. They say that the defense was commanded from up here.
He points towards a rocky outcrop on the far side of the plateau.
Now, instead of a place of war, it serves as a place of commerce, built for the good of all, both ourselves and our foreign guests. Saga's Cliff sits atop a great hoard of Numenera and does a thriving business in this stuff. We import foods, spices, textiles, and visitors from far-off lands. They arrive from Agricala, Astararia, and Herest, among many, many others, my friend. This is a focal point of commerce in the Saga's protectorate. He smiles. I play a small but proud part.
Alright. Let's end it here. We think we got everything. Oh, what the fuck is that thing? Hang on, I want to go look at this bubble real quick. See what up with the bubble? Oh, how did I not notice this earlier? I don't think any of these guys... Oh, hello. Atop a nearby plateau, you can just make out the top of a small dome of scintillating blue energy. That looks cliffside, so it's probably down in the cliffside area. What's this path take us to? Oh, there's more. Oh, it's a little helicopter. This craft is capable of carrying one person, two at most. The interior is richly appointed with satin pillows, and the air feels cooler inside. Alright, one more person before we go. Because this will finish off the area, I think. What's this? Cave entrance. Oh, we have to go through a cave to get up there. Yeah, so this will finish off the area. Quijano del Toboso. This scrawny old man practically rattles inside dull and dented armor that was clearly made for someone bigger than him. Nonetheless, his eyes burn with a bottomless fire, and his smile, as fierce as it is genuine, flashes beneath his graying thicket of a beard. Another night, he bellows, clapping your shoulders with his gauntleted hands. You barely keep your feet. The man is stronger than he looks. Another hero in search of great adventure. You stand before the wandering knight Quijano del Toboso. What brings you to the summit of Mount Ithidor? Scan thoughts. She is armed like a knight, though she carries herself strangely. Why did you call this Mount Ithidor? It's a city, not a mountain. A city, he says, his sweat-beaded brow drawing together. Your senses must have deserted you in the ascent. The heat has baked you in your armor. He lays a gentle hand on your shoulder, turning you to the horizon. Do not allow delirium to blind you to your accomplishments, good knight. You have scaled the very heights of Mount Ithidor, the tooth of the world beast. Adventure lies in every shadow below us. Every sparkle of light is a quest ready for the taking. Okay, buddy, what brings you up here? Do you know, he says, that I am not quite sure. My memory is not what it was. You don't say. I recall kneeling before my family's armor in our estate some time ago. He blinks slowly. Perhaps I was weeping. He smashes his gauntlet against his chest, leaving a sizable dent. I can't recall, and it doesn't matter. For then I had a thunderous roar and beheld a great beast in the skies. I donned my armor and gave chase. What kind of beast was it? It defied description, he declares. And so I shall describe it to defy impossibility itself. 13 legs, 6 jaws, 1,000 eyes that glitter with malice and flame, scales, the colors of clouds. Your armor looks slightly used. Yes, he says, nodding proudly. It has seen some use. My ancestor forged it in the fires of Silver Cloud Mountain for her battle against the Zirquan hordes. This was the wound that killed her. He taps a much-mended spot on the chest plate. In fact, many of my ancestors died in this armor. It served them well. I'm going to die in it too, very shortly. Alright, go on. The horrible beast leered down at me, promising destruction. I promised it death, and it fled across the sky. I followed, darting between the trees. He pauses, frowning. And I don't recall much after that, to be honest. I remember walking, having various adventures along the way, of course, but I cannot quite recall why I came here. Ah, he says, raising a finger. Of course! I must have had the frankly brilliant notion of scaling this lonely mountain to better spot the beast from afar. He shakes his head, his wispy beard waggling. Alas, I've seen nothing so far. Your beast sounds like a particularly large cloud, and I'm pretty sure you ran into a tree. A cloud, he says, chuckling. A tree! The perils facing us in this world of wonders are not so mundane. Scan thoughts. Others once spoke like her. I wish I could have saved them from the beast. You said you're looking for a great adventure. Yes, but I feel I must speak plainly, he says, plucking at his beard. Too many people have mistaken me for a common mercenary. He straightens. I am not interested in entangling myself in local quarrels. I will not hunt a beast that cannot hunt me in return. And if I am to fight, it must be against a foe of such wickedness that the stars themselves would wink out rather than shine upon a world that could harbor such malevolent creatures. Actually, I can't think of any enemies worthy of you. Oh, he says, his face falling. Perhaps you will think of one later. I may know of an enemy that is worthy of you. I don't think it gave me that option earlier. I can only pray that you are right, good night. And I can say, oh, I see. Okay, so I can talk to him later maybe about an enemy. Sure. I mean, it sounds like the beast chasing me would be a good enemy for him, but I couldn't say it. Okay. I was making sure I can click over there. Alright, guys. This has been a couple of episodes, actually. I probably cut this one in half. I mean, maybe I'll keep it... if there's no good stopping point at the 20-ish minute mark, I might keep it a big one. I don't know. I don't know what people prefer to watch this in. I feel like 40 minutes is just too long for all this reading. I mean, it's too long. I went a little too long. My throat's hurting. But I feel like watching, I don't know if that's like too much reading in one space of time, so that's why I break them up into like 15-20 minute episodes. I feel like you kind of get your fill after that. I don't know though. If you have an opinion on that, let me know. I'll do longer ones if you guys want to see longer ones. I'll do shorter ones if you want to see shorter ones. I don't really have an opinion on the matter because it doesn't really change how much I'm going to be recording them. That was a long speech about nothing. Thanks everyone for watching. Bye.